Born to be Wily is the third segment of the 26th episode of the first season of Looney Tunes cartoons, and I thought this one was okay, but it got a little bit boring. One of the great things about Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner in general is that we get to see Wile E. Coyote trying a lot of different things to try and capture the Roadrunner, but this one is basically the same thing, and it's about 4-ish minutes, so it's the same thing for a reasonable length of time. I don't mind if it's just one thing when the segment is only about a minute or so, but with this one it got boring pretty quickly. Wile E. Coyote is riding a motorbike, and I have to say I love the design of the bike. I love the design of Coyote when he's on the bike. All of that looks really great, and the animation of the movement of the bike I quite liked as well. And I won't spoil it by saying what happens, but the first thing that Coyote tries and it goes wrong, I genuinely did a little laugh out loud. It did amuse me. But I'd say after about a minute, I didn't time it, but roughly, of attempts, it became very repetitive. And I just found that the concept was wearing a bit thin. It needed something else brought in there to keep it interesting. So as a concept, it is fascinating. I do like the design of the bike. I like the look of Coyote when he's on the bike. But in terms of being entertaining and engaging, that stopped being the case pretty quickly. So I think either they needed to bring in another element, or this would have worked better as a slightly shorter segment. And sometimes the Coyote segments are a little bit shorter, and usually they just focus on one thing and it works well within the time frame. But I found that this one, it just seemed to drag on more than I would have liked. So it's not perfect. Visually, it is definitely pretty good, but being entertaining, not so much. I didn't love it. It was okay. The animation is good, but definitely got a little bit repetitive for me. If you're particularly a big fan of motorbikes, then maybe you'll enjoy it more than I did. I didn't really care for motorbikes ever. I've never cared for motorbikes, but as a concept, it was interesting. The execution, however, maybe not as great.